Hey, y'all. How are y'all doing? I am so excited to be live with you today. It is going to be a good day. Today, we're going to learn something really fun. So, if you're catching the replay, don't forget to put hashtag replay. And if you're catching it live, say good morning. How are you doing? I am going to, while we are getting started, I am going to go ahead and just wash out my brush. And we're going to do that a lot today. I'm kind of excited to show y'all what I'm going to show y'all. There's some really good basics that we're going to go over because sometimes we just got to go back to the basics, right? Like I over in the paint studio, which is a group where I teach women how to paint home decor, and we tackle a new technique every month. They're so amazed by some of the things that they're able to do with some of the advanced techniques that I showed them. But we've always got to come back to the basics. So today we're going to come back to the basics, and we are going to dive into my favorite tool, which is the color wheel. The color wheel is a thing that I use literally every time I pick up my iPad and start designing. It's something that I pick up every time that I want to just paint something on the fly. Like I don't want a template. I don't want a mock-up. I just want to start creating. My brain gets what I call chasing rabbits. My brain starts to chase rabbits, and usually it comes with the color scheme. So this thing keeps me on track. It's two-sided. It keeps me on track on color scheme and keeping things kind of to where they mesh well, right? And we're going to make our own color wheel with our, what I'm going to call, it's going to be a series, and it's just going to be a random series. It's not going to be scheduled or anything, but it's going to be our mixology series. We're going to start by going back to the basics. We're going back to kindergarten, but I'm going to put a twist on it, okay? So when you hop in, don't forget to hit hashtag replay if you're catching the replay, but also tell me good morning if you're here live with me this morning. So we're going to go back to the basics, and we're going to mix some colors. I've had some people say that they can't find certain colors, or they're having difficulty matching a color to deco art, which is what I primarily use. There's some folk arts that I use here and there, but primarily I use deco art. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Terry. Hey, Pam. Hey, Debbie. Is that Lesha? Is that Lesha or Leisha? Is it Leisha? Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Lesha's pretty too. That's a beautiful name either way. Good morning. How are y'all doing? Okay, so we're going to bring it back to the basics. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I did tell myself I was going to pull a different blue because whenever I did my first go round with playing with the color wheel, I didn't like the blue that I picked. The first one is so forgiving. Okay, so we're going to make two color wheels today, okay? We're going to create the RYB, which is the red, yellow, blue, which is the one we all grew up on, right? We were told we can make green, we can make orange, we can make purple, we can make all of those extra colors with just those particular three colors, right? Plus white, plus black, right? Well, that's so forgiving. It could be any blue, it could be any yellow, it could be any red, right? There's a range. Then there's a very specific one that honestly, when it comes to us artists specifically working with paint, there's so many different color wheels and color schemes, but it depends on what you're working with. If you're working with light, say you're working in television or in movies, you really want to know the color wheel for light is so different than the color wheel for paint. And so the RYB, which is the red, yellow, blue, our OG, our throwback, old school color wheel, right? That's what we've all learned on, no matter what we were working with. But we have learned through the years and through science that there's multiple ways to learn color and what works well and what mixes well. But you really got to be cautious about what you're working with. Show me what you're working with, right? So we're working with paint. So we're going to work with the two color wheels that work best with paint. So who's excited about this morning? Okay. Who's excited? And while we're working, I want you to put in the comments what your favorite color is. Okay. I want to know what your favorite color is. Everybody knows mine, right? Everybody knows my favorite color, but I want to know your favorite color. Thank you, Terry, for sharing and just spreading the good word that we are live today and we are doing a little edumacation today. Hey, Lori. Good morning. Loved meeting you this past weekend. I loved meeting all my new friends this weekend too. Okay, so while we are chatting, I'm gonna go ahead and just put we're gonna start with the OG one, right? The throwback. The red, yellow, blue. I'm gonna put my red, yellow, blue down here, okay? And this blue gave me fits trying to get this plastic off. I hardly ever have. There we go. Yesterday, it did not want to come off. All right, I'm using primary blue. I have true blue somewhere, and I just couldn't find it. So primary blue is a little darker. Then we're going to shake this up. Red likes to separate fast. Light teal, like spa blue. Pam Savage says light teal is her favorite. Shaylin says blue, it's calming. It really is. It really is. You know, some shades of green are pretty calming for me too. Like I don't like grass green. But I love a good mint. Kind of just like subdued mint. Mm-hmm. Hey, Roxana. How'd your live sale go the other day? How'd your live sale go? Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to be washing our brush a lot, okay? So we're going to put just a square of blue. Okay, so there's our blue. It's really dark. I really wish it was a little lighter, but we'll just roll with it. I cannot find my true blue anywhere. And I refuse to buy it because I know I have it. It does not matter what order you put these in. We're just going to put them in like a little triangle. Lori says teal and peach. I love me a good peach. Like a good pinky peach. I like a good pinky peach. Chelsea did it because I was exhausted and she did great. Oh, I knew she'd do good. I knew she would do good. Knowing Chelsea, she was probably driving herself crazy up until the very last minute of pressing live. So, okay, we're going to put that out of the way. All right, so we've got our blue, we've got our red, we got our yellow. Those are straight from the bottle. You can make anything out of these on the basic, right? With the red, yellow, blue. So let's go ahead and mix. Let's go ahead and mix our orange, okay? So when you want a good true Crayola box orange, you need to make sure you're very careful about getting equal amounts of paint. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my red. So I just dipped it in the red. Okay. And I'm going to dip it in the yellow. And the way I mix on paper is I go north and south, east and west. And I go back and forth a few times. North and south, east and west. Okay, let's clean our brush. I need a snack for this. Terry, I know, right? I actually had breakfast this morning. I don't normally have breakfast. I don't normally eat like a full breakfast. I used to, and then just recently, over the last couple of months, I've kind of just been so busy first thing in the morning, I forget, and I just gotten out of the habit of eating it. All right, so same thing, equal parts for purple. Actually, we're going to say purple for last. Let's do green. Blue and yellow, okay? So equal parts. And I'm funny, I always start with my darkest color first. So I just dipped my brush in the blue. So that's going to match that perfectly. It's not going to change because it's the same amount, same color, nothing altered. And I'm going to go north and south, east and west. And because I didn't wash my brush, that means there's more blue in this. So I'm going to dip this twice, okay? North and south, east and west. And when you do that, it creates, it helps it blend a little bit better. If you were mixing in a cup or in a puddle, you would want to do figure eights. And then you would want to change your, you would want to change the direction of your figure eights. But you would want to go figure eight, figure eight, figure eight, turn, figure eight, figure eight, figure eight. And you would want to figure eight. That way it mixes really well. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that little bit of yellow right there. That's going to bug me when we get done. All right. So there's our green. Now let's mix some purple. Remember, the trick to mixing colors is knowing your portions, right? So we're going to mix purple. Equal parts gives us our secondary colors. So the straight from the bottle, red, blue, yellow, they're called the primary colors. And then the mixing equal parts of each is secondary. So can you guess what mixing those together would be? Tertiary, or I can never tertiary or tertiary, or it's the third step to it. I've never been able to say that word. It's one of those words that really throw me for a loop. Okay. So here's purple. Okay. Now, from here, you have the basics of the rainbow. Okay. You can make any shade you want of our traditional rainbow. You've got the Roy G. Biv going on right here, right now, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, violet, indigo, whatever you want, right? Hey, Cindy. Hey, Becca. How are y'all doing? Okay. So let's just take this right here, okay? Honestly, we can't make pink with this, can we? Mm-mm. We can't make pink. A lot of people think that you take red and add white and you get pink. In a way, yes, you can, okay? You get some shades of pink, but you don't get true pink, right? Now, this is where our next color wheel comes into play, okay? You've got the Roy G. Biv, the red, yellow, blue, right? And then sometime throughout the years, they have decided, and this is what printers typically go by. They have the Roy G. They have this one plus black. This is what printers use to get true color, right? So this is the one that I honestly I prefer a little bit more, and it is the cyan magenta yellow. Okay, same yellow as we were using up here. It's the cyan magenta yellow. I'm actually using magenta. I'm using cadmium yellow. And then I'm just using Calypso blue. It's the closest I had to a cyan blue. I didn't have like a true cyan blue, but I'm using Calypso blue. You could also use, what was the other one? A Laguna would be a darker version of it. It's sky. It's like the true sky blue, right? It's beautiful blue. How do you come up with the ideas like this to teach? I would never have thought of this. I just go back to the basics sometimes. Like I just assume sometimes people know how to mix colors because I know how to mix colors. And then in the studio, I have been getting so many people saying, how do you know which colors to shade with? Da 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 da, fill in the blank. And it's just because of the color wheel. I know. And I'm going to teach y'all at the end of this why it's so important to know the wheel. And honestly, colors don't come in a wheel. They come in waves, right? But when it comes to art, we see them as a wheel because that helps us. It really does give us a cheat sheet on how to make things look visually appealing. Okay. Hey, Christy. Hey, Christy, if you listen really closely, you can hear my wind chimes. Christy loves my wind chimes. Hitting the freeway with you on my dash. Happy Thursday. Well, be careful, Suzanne. I'm not going to mama you. I'm not going to mama you. You're a grown woman. But hey, I'm along for the ride. I love that you got back to the I love that you go back to the basics. We all need to go back from time to time. I appreciate what you teach. Aww. I do. Okay, so when it comes to the basics, honestly, there's so many of us out there that teach how to make door hangers, right? How the basics of making a door hanger, right? But nobody teaches you the basics of painting. A lot of people teach you the basics of making a sign, making home decor, and then they just throw paint shades at you. But they don't teach you the basics. So we're going back to the basics. I'm not classically trained. I'm self-taught. I'm just putting a little bit of this of my cyan magenta yellow. And this color wheel is called the, can you guess? CMY. And I've seen the acronym in so many different ways, but that's the one that I've seen, CMY. And we're going to put them in the same order up here. So we put our blue up here. We're going to put our cyan up here. Okay. Fun fact, it is springtime, right? Did you know that if you paint your ceilings outside blue, that you won't get that wasps and bees and all the stingy bugs that like to nest will not nest in your nooks and crannies outside? There's actually a specific blue that is a cyan blue. It's a muted down cyan blue that will it's called, I think it's called dirt dauber blue or a wasp blue. I think it's called dirt dauber blue. I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on it. It's some fashion of that, right? It's some fashion of that. And if you paint the ceilings of your outdoor areas they won't nest there because they think it's sky, and to them it does not seem like a safe place to be. Just fun fact. Just fun fact from a girl from the South that has an issue with wasps from here to there. I have done hair for 30 years, and in school, the first thing we learned was the color wheel, and it sticks with you forever. So I will say in school, we never learned the color wheel. We just learned the color. We learned the rainbow. We learned it in a line, right? We learned Roy G. Biv, okay? And Roy G. Biv is one of my favorite acronyms, FYI. Okay, this weekend I'm painting the ceiling on my porch. Zach will have to get over it, Nancy. Right. Okay, so Nancy lives right down the road from me. And yes, here in Louisiana, red wasps are it's an epidemic here. It is awful. It is worse than the flu. It is the worst thing to be outside. That and cicada killers. Although I don't think cicada killers will hurt you. They just look menacing. So, okay, let's get back to the basics. Okay. So we're going to take the cyan blue, okay? 1 part cyan blue and 1 part magenta. Remember, east and west, north and south. And we get a beautiful, one of my favorite shades of purple. So honestly, with our little section of the art world, we stick to this color wheel a lot, and we just don't realize it. A lot of our favorite popular colors tend to be in this color wheel and not in this color wheel. But if you know both color wheels, you're safe. You can mix any color you want, right? Even browns, even yucky browns. We won't get into browns today. Browns will be another day, but we're just getting into the basics. I'm at beauty school. I'm a florist, and we have to know the color wheel. We keep one in the pegboard at all times. I keep one. Let me show you where I keep mine. So here's my binder, right? This is where I keep all my designs after they've been released. I'll show you like in the studio, I keep a copy of all that, all the garlands that get released in Erica's Template Tribe, which are the Template to Wednesday designs. I keep them in the binder so that if something feels familiar to me, I can kind of look back at a glance and be like, oh, I've already done something very similar to that. Let me change my plan, right? Let me turn that because I'm looking kind of dark. Okay, there we go. But I keep it in the very front pocket of this. So I keep it in the very front pocket. And that's where it stays. I actually have a few of them floating around here, but that's the one that I usually use. And it's seen better days. I mean, it's all, if you look, it's got like little pieces that are waving at you. But I refuse to get rid of it. Okay, so now let's take our magenta and our yellow. This is where it's gonna get really fun because orange is not my favorite color, but orange is useful. Orange is so useful. Okay, I don't know why I poured a whole nother puddle of yellow paint when it's the exact same yellow paint. You know, the other thing that drives me crazy about the South during this time of year? Fruit flies. They drive me crazy. Like, you can't go to the grocery store, bring your groceries home, and not have fruit flies. So this is the beginning stage of orange. Okay. I would dare to say that's really close to Warm Sunset, which is my favorite orange, right? Okay, now let's take our cyan and our yellow. Now, this is green. This is primary green. This is Crayola green. This is the green that we all grew up with, making our little art projects in elementary school, and always wondered why I don't like. A lot of us grow up not liking green. There are some, it's like cilantro. You either love green or you're just not a fan of green. I'm one of those that's just not a fan of green. And I found out why later whenever I was aware that there are 2 color wheels. It's because this green right here, it's just not foliage green. It's not like, it's not the green that you would gravitate towards to make leaves or to make a tree. It's just the green that we had available to us, right? This green right here, let's let it talk for itself, okay? This green right here. So we're going to take 1 part cyan, okay, and 1 part yellow. Oh, to be sitting on my back porch right now with all those wind chimes. I bet you the hummingbirds are out too, man. I'm missing it. Hummingbirds are my favorite bird. They are my absolute favorite. Now look at that. That's the green that we would gravitate towards for foliage green, or at least start with. That's the green that we have all been like, I just don't like my leaves. I just don't like my tree. I just don't like my grass. And you know why? It's because that right there, you don't associate anything foliage type with. You associate it with different shades of this. And that's why we would always have like a love-hate relationship with green. Some of us love it because we like these bold jewel tone greens. And some of us were just like, it just doesn't associate with what my brain said I wanted it to be. It's because this is what we were really going for. And you can't really get this with that. You can, but you got to work really hard, right? I had my first hummingbird yesterday. We have had a few. I have yet to see them though. But you know why I know we had them? Because I have to go outside and fill my hummingbird feeder. They have been little hungry little critters lately. Could you slide back so that we can see better? Slide back what? Knee slide back? That's the closest I can get without y'all falling into the. Let's see. Hey Trina. I love wind chimes. Wind chimes are probably. I don't really have a lot of people have the TV on in the background. I used to. Until I realized I could hear my wind chimes as loud as they are. And it's a teeny tiny little wind chime. It's the teeniest, tiniest little thing. But it has the perfect little chime to it. It's my favorite. Let's see. This color wheel has all my favorite colors. My favorite purple, my favorite green, Nancy. So you just didn't realize what you were missing out on by look, we took 6 colors. And honestly, it's 5 because that yellow is the same yellow. So these are the colors we've been working with. And we've already made, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've made 11 because that's the same color set. So we can't count it twice. We've made 11 colors with just 6, right? Almost doubled it, right? We made 11 colors out of 5. So we have more than doubled our paint shades already, right? The book. Oh, okay. I'd already moved it. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Alrighty. So now that we've made our primary and our secondary, let's move in to tertiary. I think that's how you say it. I never can say it right. Hey, Deidre. So tertiary would be taking the mixed color and adding a little bit more of one of the 2 mama colors. Okay, so we got our mama daddy colors, right? And then we made a little baby. Well, now, you know how some babies look more like mama and more like daddy? This is where biology class starts to come and click when it comes to colors, right? So we're going to have a baby that looks more like the mama and a baby that looks more like the daddy right here. And then we got that middle child that looks like both, right? Right? Okay. So let's go with that. So let's start back with the primary. So we're going to put primary right here. But we're going to put primary blue. And we're going to make our green. So we're just going to make our green. Okay. And this green should be a match to this green because it's the same color that we just mixed earlier. But remember proportions, we're going to add an extra part of blue and it's going to give us a nice little deep blue green. If this was a lighter blue, you'd really see the difference. But we're just going to roll with it because I couldn't find it. So there's our blue green. Now, rinse our. Your stories are cracking me. I'm full of them. I need to be writing them down. Okay, back to here. We're going to add our blue. We're going to add our yellow. We're going to make our basic green, our Crayola box green, right? And we're going to add an extra part of yellow. Can anybody guess what this is going to make? Because this is the green that looks more like Daddy over here, right? Okay. Add just a little bit more yellow. Go. Same thing with the blue and the red. We can make purple, but we can also make like a more blue toned purple and a more red toned purple. So I need a little bit more blue here. Just one drop. And with all this, I've used about 2 drops worth of paint. So you can make your own color wheel. I got my color wheel from Hobby Lobby, Joanne. They all had the exact same color wheel. So if you like my color wheel, I'm going to show you how to use it. I don't know if I'm going to do that today. I think we're just going to focus on, mixing the colors. And in another mixology video, I will show you how to use the color wheel. Okay, so there's our purple, and we're going to add just a touch more blue. And get more of an indigo-like purple, okay? And then now we're going to do the same thing. Let's add our blue. Let's add our red. Okay, so that should be the same purple as we have over here. Now let's add another part of red. Remember, north and south, east and west. And that should give you a good mix on paper. There we go. The purples really do look a lot alike, only because I used such a dark blue to start off with. If I would have used a lighter shade blue, like a true blue instead of primary blue is really dark. Okay, now we're going to do red right here. Okay, we're going to start off with our primary red. This actually might be true red. No, it's primary red. And we're going to start off with our yellow, and then we're going to add our yellow. This will make our basic orange, which is right there next to it. North and south, east and west. I'm going to come back to my red and add one more part red, and that will give me a red orange. Okay, so it's a nice little darker hue in between. That's a tertiary color. If I'm not saying that right, y'all don't come for me. I've got speech issues. Okay. What color was the pink? This one down here, straight magenta. It's actually called magenta. That's why I picked it. Straight magenta. Okay, now we're going to add yellow, red. Okay, as those 2 colors are the same, we're going to come back and add one more part yellow, and we'll get a yellow orange. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to add just a little bit more yellow, just so it's more noticeable. Okay. Now let's make our, we've got our primary and our secondary. Now let's make our tertiary. So let's start with the cyan. Okay, so we're going to put cyan, magenta. So the cyan is Calypso blue. That's the blue that I'm using. Okay, so this should match the color next to it. Okay. and I add 1 more part cyan blue, I should get a bluer purple shade out of this. It's not going to be just like that. It's not going to be just like that. It's going to be a good mixture of the two. I'm sitting here repeating all the colors in my head like a 2-year-old me. I bought mine on Amazon. Oh, the color wheel? Yes, you can get a good color wheel on Amazon. I like a good color chart too. But the wheel, it just makes more sense, especially if you're just going to store it in something like a binder or in your work area, because it's just smaller. So we're going to add our cyan blue, equal parts of our cyan and our magenta, and we should get the same color that's next to it. But this one's going to look more like the magenta. So we're going to put an extra part of magenta. Now, with all these colors, you can ghost them out and make all different shades or values of each color. So not only have you made all these colors, but honestly, you can make any range of any of these colors if you want. Just remember, when you bump down in value on one color, you need to bump down in value on the complementary color so that it kind of looks cohesive. Again, we'll go over that in a whole nother video, because that's a whole nother can of worms that we can bust open and spend hours on. But let's stick to the basics. I'm going to just saturate that out just a little bit more. Okay. So now we're going to put our magenta. Put our magenta. Equal parts of magenta, equal parts of yellow. And we should get a nice little pinky orange, a nice little coral. Okay. Now let's add an extra part of magenta. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. Clean our brush. Maria, I'm reading your comments. Okay. Let's put our magenta down. Remember, this one's going to have more yellow in it. So let's put our magenta down, and then equal parts of yellow. We'll get that same shade. It should match this shade right here. But we're going to add an extra part of yellow. Okay. Again, let's put our yellow down. Okay. Let's grab some cyan, equal parts. We should get that same color next to it. So far, okay, so you've seen a good bit of these color wheels. I would like to know which one you prefer. Do you prefer, we're going to call, this is going to be the RYB, okay, red, yellow, blue, or the CMY, okay, cyan, magenta, yellow, okay. Do you prefer, and you can just put, like, instead, you can say blue, or you can say cyan, or you can say red or magenta, just something that differentiates one from the other. Okay, remember, we're going to put an extra part of yellow. That should give us our nice little yellow green. All right, Terry is liking the CMY. I think some people call it this MCY or NYC, or I don't remember the order that it goes in, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me, because I know the colors, and that's all that matters to me. But I want to say it's the CMY. I think it's CMY. I think magenta goes in the middle. Magenta can go first. I don't care. Remember? I don't care. All right, so there's our 1 part cyan, 1 part yellow. When it comes to mixology, though, you really need to be careful about how much you're putting on your brush, the amounts, because that does make a huge difference at the end of the day. 1 part to 1 part. That's why I keep cleaning my brush so it doesn't get muddled. but then it also doesn't transfer other paints from other shades. But you also want to make sure you start with a clean brush because it really does, it makes a difference. Is it the CMYK? What is K? The K stands for black. K stands for black. So with this particular color wheel, a lot of times they will add black as an additional color in the base colors. So instead of having 3, you'll have 4. But that's primarily with printing. So this color wheel became very popular when printers, not like printing presses and all that, but printers, color printing became extremely popular. They realized this color wheel, it just wasn't making the cut when it came to printing. So they came up with this color wheel, which gives you a much broader color capability, especially when mixing pigments. This color right here was just to get us through grade school. Let's be honest. They just got us through grade school, okay? This one right here, as an artist, is very versatile, okay? Now, can you use them both? Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, from my understanding, I use them interchangeably, to be honest. It just depends on what, like, am I going primary colors? So let's think about what we use primary colors for. Christmas. We use primary colors for teacher appreciation, anything school related. Why? Because it's what we associate with school. We use, let's see, so Christmas is the green and the red, right? Let's see, the red, white, and blue. So anything patriotic. Let's see, what else? But whenever we get into the summer months and the springy months, all of a sudden our brain switches over to the CMY. And it's just because those colors just for us associate tropical. And so to me, it's like a Skittles. These are the original Skittles and these are the tropical. Does that make sense? So you can use them interchangeably. You can use, but you just don't want to like mix them because then all of a sudden there's chaos in your color combinations. If you're gonna start with a cyan blue as your ocean blue, then you really want to stick to these colors and the colors that this one primarily makes. If you're going to do a big crayon box, then you might want to start with this blue and stick with these colors. These colors can make blue. These colors can make red. They can make, well, it already comes with yellow, but why do that when we can have both color wheels and have both color wheels available in your paint caddy? So honestly, these 6 colors plus black, so black being added here, but I couldn't find my little black. These colors right here, let's go ahead and, these colors right here can make any color of the rainbow for you plus black. So if you ever are in a pinch, remember a couple of years ago when there was a paint shortage? Mixology would have gotten you through that without any problems because they were all making these colors. If you wondered why certain colors were being made, well, it was these colors plus their most popular, okay? It was the 2 color wheels plus their most popular colors that sold. So that's Dana, what's up? How's my girl doing? So Dana's daughter just had some surgeries. How's my girl doing? Are you sitting there next to her? Tell her I said, hey. I love the Skittles analogy. Okay, so Christy, when I look at this, that's all I think about because I'm a foodie. I love food. So I think Skittles. So this is the original Skittles. This is the tropical Skittles. And y'all, I'm about to go to the store and do not put it past me not to put Skittles up in my stories. If you know, then you know, right? Google says CMY. So so was I right? Was I right? CMY? Okay. So Jerry says I was right. I love being right. Pass more black. Let's see. I love the Skittles analogy. It makes perfect sense. Tropical are my favorite Skittles. We Megan it day 1 after surgery. She'll be okay. She's resilient. She's already had prom, hadn't she? Oh no, did she not have prom yet? No. She's had prom surely she's had prom, right? I'm so worried because I love Dana's daughter. Like, y'all, I just love this girl. Uh, they bought a prom dress, and I love dress shopping. So I got to go homecoming dress shopping with Dana. Dana lives a few towns over from me. And just so happens like we're connected in a very unique way. We won't go into all of that, but Dana's daughter went dress shopping in my town, and Dana's like, you want to come with us? Because this ain't my jam. So I went with them, and I got to help pick her homecoming dress. But I was out of town the week that they went prom dress shopping, so they took me along through text messages, and I got to watch all the different dresses that she's. It's Saturday, and we're gonna miss it. No, I'm so. We won't harp on it. I won't open the wound. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we have our color wheels here. Let's distract ourselves with the color wheel then. So we got our color wheels here. I would love to see your rendition of your color wheel. Pick your now. If you do the original Skittles, pick whatever blue, whatever red, whatever yellow you want. You do not have to pick the blue, the red, the yellow, but you do want it to be a primary. So there's primary blue, there's true blue, and then there's like ocean blue. All of them will work just fine. You've got primary red, true red, tomato red. You just don't want anything that's like already a shade of red. You just want a red, right? So you don't want like barn red, brick red, yellow red, You don't want to start with that. You want to start with a true red, right? And then yellow, I just picked cadmium yellow because in all art projects, cadmium yellow just seems like the baseline yellow. That's what I picked. You know me, banana cream, sunny day, and lemon yellow. All my favorite yellows, like this right here, that is sunny day all day long. Okay. In fact, if you were wondering what this was last month's designs for a paint studio. And they're still available in the studio. So if you're studio members, don't forget to go save those, and your email will be going out at the end of the month with these designs in it. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding the color wheel, as far as the colors that we went over today, now I do not have a color wheel for this one. I have been searching in the craft stores because I like to be able to pick it up. Now, if I end up having to go to Amazon, I'll link it. But this right here, I've seen the exact same. I went to all three yesterday. We went on, my husband and I, his day off yesterday. We went to Hobby Lobby, and I'm about to go back to Hobby Lobby. We went to Hobby Lobby, Joann's, and Michael. So all the big box craft stores. This exact color wheel, the pocket color wheel, which is my favorite color wheel. So I'm going to show y'all this right here. The pocket color wheel. So if you screenshot it, this is the one that I use every time I sit down to paint or design, primarily more so design. And it shows me how to mix colors. It shows me what colors are complementary and secondary, and it gives me all the different combinations of colors that will look good together. Let's see. I think else. Oh. I just found the perfect skin tone for like mid-tone skin tone. And it's on this color wheel. I'm just saying. And it just told me how to mix it. So that I love that tool. But if you end up making one, I would love to see it. Don't forget to tag me in it. I would love to see it and come show you some love and just tell you how good of a job you did. I'm about to go ahead to Hobby Lobby, pick up the girl, and come back and ship some orders. So if you got an order that you're waiting on, it's going to be punched out before the end of the weekend. If it was made before this week. I just adore you, Erica. Thank you for teaching this. Oh, you're so welcome, Becca. I got to hang out with one of your besties this weekend. Are you a little jealous? That is the exact wheel I bought on Amazon. Okay, so you can also get it on Amazon. So for those of you that don't like to venture out into the real world, go shopping, which my brothers are like that. They do not like to go shopping at all. They just rather order it on Amazon. They have this on Amazon. They also have a Hobby Lobby. They have a bigger version of it, like the same thing, just bigger. This is what they call the pocket one. I like it because it fits in my binder, just so perfect. So when I go traveling, this binder comes with me, and so my color wheel comes with me as well. Oh, you forgot to put out the timeline for this month. Oh, over in the studio, I know. I keep looking at it. I'm like, oh, I need to release that, but there's a typo in it, and so I've got to fix the typo. Once I fix the typo, it'll be released. FYI, your tutorial, I think, is going to be on the 15th. Go ahead and mark it. I know that's what you're worried about. That's the most important date on the studio is the 15th. Alrighty. Well, I enjoyed hanging out with you. I cannot wait till Monday. Y'all don't forget to come hang out with me Monday, 10 a.m. CST. Well, we will either be going over something, going back to the basics, or we will be painting live. So just be along for the ride. I'll see you Monday, 10 a.m. CST right here. Talk to you later. Bye.